Hello everybody and welcome. So today I'm going to give my review of the Tesla style head unit. These are available from multiple different places. Phoenix is one of the main ones. Trinity Audio Solutions is another. I've heard a couple other names dropped around, but basically they're all about the same. They all come from overseas. They're they're not exactly cheap, but you can get them kind of cheap, relatively speaking. So this is just going to be my overview of the radio. So it'll give you a better idea of what to expect if you're going to get one of these. So what I have in here is is classified the second gen fastboot unit. It's Android 7.1.1. It's got 2 gigs of RAM. It's got a 32 gig storage and a PX3 processor. So it is not the fastest, it is not the newest, but the format is the same between this one and what they're classifying the Gen 3. The difference between this one and the Gen 3 is the Gen 3 has a PX6 processor, which is much faster. It has, I believe, 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage built into it. The only issue with it currently is that the Gen 3 is slow boot only. So check out my video that I did back on the slow boot versus fast boot. It's basically the fast boot can be up and running within 1 to 2 seconds. The slow boot can take 45 seconds to over a minute, depending on what kind of mood it's in. So if you can wait, then I would probably wait for them to release the fast boot for the PX6. But we're not going to worry about that one right now. They are supposed to be working on a fast boot version. I don't know. I haven't heard an exact date when it's supposed to come out. All I know is soon. Soon. So we'll just roll with what we have here, and basically everything here that you see is going to be very similar to what the Gen 3 is. It's got the same knobs, the same buttons. You can control your blower motor up and down. You can cut your AC on and off here. You have your Navi button, which you can program to whatever you want your navigation to be. You have your rear defrost and your recirculate. This and AC, I wished you could actually reprogram to something else, because everything is accessible down here. I mean, everything. My truck is a 2015 Toyota Tundra Limited, which means that I have the dual climate control and seat heaters. It is not the 1794, which has the heated and cooled seats, but it runs on the same thing. So that the 1794 and the Limited, both have the heated seats, but the 1794 adds the cooled. It's all accessible from the same thing. You would just, instead of going heat, you would go cool, which I don't have, so it doesn't do anything. It does have the auto climate control, which I'm not going to do because that'll turn the blower way too high. There we go. But everything you have is accessible here, driver side, passenger side. That's going to be the same thing on pretty much any of these units. They do have a unit, I forgot to mention this earlier, for the 2007 through 2013 Tundras. It's a little bit bigger screen, but it's basically the same thing. There's only one generation of that though, but there is a slow boot and a fast boot. Again, I would highly suggest you get a fast boot, just because they're much better. So with these units, you do get to retain factory steering wheel controls, so I can turn the volume up and down from my steering wheel. Let's get some music going. I'm just going to play some royalty-free YouTube allowed stuff so this doesn't get flagged and they take it down. So I get a lot of questions about sound quality on this radio versus stock. Let's turn that down a little bit. It is, in my opinion, out of the box, this sounded on par with stock, but it has more functions to be able to change settings. So you can scroll across here, you can go into settings, and you can go equalizer. Now this is the one downside to this unit. You can choose any of the presets. Classic, sounds kind of flat to me. Pop, it's okay. Rock is my choice, that's my jam. Hall, not too bad. And cinema, which it would be my close second, but I prefer the sound of rock. Not because I listen to more rock music, but that's closer to my tune. Let's cut that down a little bit more. The downside of this is you can't choose user and it actually do anything other than go flat. I mean, you see I have everything over here almost maxed out. And I don't know if you can tell the difference, but it's very, very, very flat. There is really no change in it. So we'll go back rock. That's about the only problem there. Now you go down and you have your fader. You can choose where you want it to be just by dragging it. It's nice. Loudness, it does make it louder. But I can't get this above level 15 without danger of cracking some speakers, because I'm still running stock speakers with the stock amps. So that's what you get. If you wanted to change your navigation, navigation, you can change whatever you want to be your navigation, or come up whenever you hit the Navi button. I use Sigic just because it's all on this unit. It doesn't require internet to work. And as you can see, I do not have any Wi-Fi right now. So equalizer, we'll go back. That's about the only downside, but there's settings that you can change in here that will make it actually better than stock. Right now I have it set, yeah, I believe it's better than stock. So we can go system, and that's not it. It is, let me find it here again. There we go. No, system info. Long press. There we go. Okay, system. Now this one should have volumes. Okay, so you can put your DSP sound on or off. I have mine on. That gives you the more EQ stuff. And there you go. You can change a lot of the volumes in here. You have your radio, your music, your movie. That's for radio, music, and video, I believe. Sorry, radio, music, and video. There you go. Bluetooth is going to be, Bluetooth volume is going to be for like your phone calls. Bluetooth music will, of course, will be if you're streaming music through your phone. I'll get to that in a second. TV, we don't do TV on this unless you have an external TV tuner. You get the idea. So you can turn all those up and get louder at a lower volume. It's fine. Do what you want. But this works for me. And there is a setting in here where I'd have to find it, but you can change it and it makes it softer at lower volumes. It's fine, whatever. It'll be alright. So let's go full screen on that. There we go. Okay, so but mostly what I use my unit for is the regular radio. I don't do a lot of streaming currently. Well, I haven't. Probably going to start trying that a little bit more. I did do some testing with this, and when you're streaming from your phone to the unit, it kind of sounds like it's skipping sometimes, and I believe that is due to the Bluetooth module that they have in here. The Bluetooth module in here does not work with any other Bluetooth things. It only works with phones. Let's pause that, because that's kind of distracting for me. So you can't get like a Bluetooth TPMS or whatever. And TPMS I'll get on in a second. But it only works with your phone. And then that kind of goes into the phone calls. Factory. Now I'm not running the factory firmware right now. I've actually paid for a custom firmware that fixes a few of the things, enables some themes and stuff like that. But factory, the ringtone will blow you out of here. I mean, it is crazy loud. The one that I have here is actually very subtle. It's very much like the stock head unit, how it rings. So I chose to, I'm glad that I chose the custom firmware for that. But the microphone is right here. And that is the biggest complaint that anybody has about these units. The hands-free mic is horrible. There are some people that have, taken the unit out, pulled this off, and soldered a new microphone to the board on here. And I may get around to that at some point, but I'm trying to review it as it is. It sounds like you're in a barrel at best. Sometimes people can not even understand you. I believe that that's a combination between the microphone and the Bluetooth module, because like I was saying, whenever you're I did a test where I had Google Play Music streaming from my phone to the unit, and it sounded okay for a little bit, but then it started getting scratchy, almost like it was missing. And it wasn't because of my data or anything like that. It's because I had great signal. I don't know what was going on. I'm assuming it's just with the Bluetooth module in this. I tried multiple phones. I tried that one, this one. I have multiple devices to try it from. So that wasn't the issue. Because I could go on here, and let me go over to my app list, and I loaded up, missed it, Google Play Music, and played the same exact song on the unit itself, and it did fine. It sounded great. So something's going on with the Bluetooth module in these. There is no other way to add an external mic other than desoldering the stock one and soldering on a new one. There's not a plug in the back that doesn't support, USB microphones that you can run wherever, unfortunately. So over stock, I kind of like this because it's a much bigger screen. It does take over your AC controls, and that can be a blessing and a curse. But the thing I like about this is, if you are like me and you've paid for the custom firmware, you can actually root this. Factory, it's not possible, but with custom firmware it is. And with root, that enables you to do a lot of things. There is even possibility where you could, if you had remote start like I do, you have your truck, you remote start your truck, and then if you had a mobile hotspot that this connected to as soon as it booted up, you could send a command to it and it automatically cut your air or heat or whatever to a certain temperature. You could have it automatically cut your seat heaters on or whatever. I've done similar things with phones or Androids before, using Pushbullet and Tasker. If it's rooted, you can actually record your screen presses, so you can record a screen swipe up, go all the way down, and then count up to whatever degree you want it to be. stuff like that. That is possible on this unit, which it's very unique in the way that it is that it takes up the AC controls. Now granted, some people do have problems. Their AC controls do not work when they get this. A lot of that is because they're not... This is just the fast way to get to it, I think. Nope, not that one. Advanced. Okay, so select car type, Tundra High. Since I have a Limited, and it does have the dual climate control, it's Tundra High. If you had an SR5 or below, and you only had the single zone AC, you would choose that as Tundra Low. There's also another place in here where you can set the actual air conditioner protocol. People don't set that a lot. There is a great Facebook group that has all kinds of information on this unit or these style of units, and I will link it in the description below. Highly suggest that you check it out if you're looking for a unit like this. I believe that the design of it fits in with the dash. It looks OEM. I mean, people who have gotten in my truck and didn't know any better, thought that was factory, which, it could pass off as that. But alas, it's not, because the stock screen is a little big. It's not very big at all. So overall, I believe that these units, they're awesome little units if you can get past the finicky little deals with them. They're not without problems. I mean, even mine, about a month ago, I was driving down the road and screen just went blank. My AC still worked. I could still up and down here, but I couldn't get to anything else down here. I couldn't cut my music up. I could cut it up and down with volume here, but I couldn't change anything. I couldn't see what was going on. And it took having to pull the unit out, unplug it for about 30 seconds, and then plug it back in, and then put it back in. Which is not a huge deal, because it's not that hard to get out, but just know that things like that can happen. It is an Android head unit. But overall, as long as you can look past those and you just want something that stands out in the crowd and such as that, it's a great little unit. As long as hands-free is not a huge thing to you. A lot of people don't use their phone to talk anyways. They just rather text, so it'd be fine. But that is my not so quick overview of the Tesla style head unit. So if you might be interested in obtaining one of these, there are some for sale from time to time in the Facebook group that I'm going to link down below. But I'll also post a couple of links where you can buy them straight from the manufacturer, brand new. They're fine. They are more expensive, and the group will still support them too. So my suggestion is, if you're interested in one of these units, try to find one that's lightly used on the Facebook group and buy that right now, because you'll stand a better chance of getting one of the fastboot units for a reasonable price, and at least until somebody comes out with the fastboot of the 3rd gen unit, which is running Android 8 or 9, I can't remember which one, because I highly suggest the fastboot. But if you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, and even with different units, because I'm going to be trying another one here soon, hit that subscribe button and click the little bell out beside it whenever you do that so you'll be notified whenever I upload a video. And I guess until next time, y'all have a great day.